Charlie, I know you said yesterday how you try to treat these games, but how do you treat these games? I mean, your record, in these ultimate winner go home games is tremendous.
I don't know. Yeah, I try to simplify it to a game plan. And that energy that we had early, the energy that I had coming into this game, I mean, Snides and Z and I, we sat down before the game, and we had some stuff written out. We had some stuff that some ideas that each of us had. And we basically, within 3 or 4 minutes, we agreed on just the general concept of what we were going to do today. And I was completely confident in that game plan. I was completely confident in Z back there behind the dish, and in the defense behind us. So there was nothing else to do except just go throw the ball.
And just the accomplishment of this team for you to navigate what you've had to navigate and to now be going to the World Series. What can you speak to on that?
Yeah. So, I mean, it goes without saying it's been a weird year. It was pretty apparent early on that the guys had bought into each other during this time. I mean, it was very challenging because at first it was everything was about the protocols. Everything was about trying to keep guys safe, and just caring about each other. Guys come on the field every day, knowing that, we could have a bunch of guys get sick, and we had staff that was coming in, and just a ton of work by people behind the scenes. And, I'm so proud of these guys because I don't know if anyone's talked about it, but like we would go into visiting clubhouses, and the clubhouse staff and the visiting clubhouses would comment on how well our guys were doing with making them feel safe, making them feel like they cared about all the protocols and trying to do right by all that. So it's just another layer, another dimension of the quality of our guys. So just a really special group to be a part of.
Take the next one from Juan.
Hey Chuck, congratulations. On the field, what is it about this unit that makes them special? I mean, what's kind of the trait? You've been on some teams that obviously won the World Series and have made it far, but what does this team stand out with?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. After last night, for us to come out, take 3 from the Astros, and the way those guys over there were swinging the bats, the way those guys over there were pitching, and for them to take 3 in a row, after losing 3 in a row, I mean, that takes a lot. That shows what that group over there is made out of, and to deal with a lot of the stuff that they've dealt with. So after last night, it's like you give away a 3-0 lead, and I came to the park today, and everybody's just good to go, squared away, high energy. I mean, in the first inning, they're out there and just hungry for the win. So
Zoom in. Question's over with. Come on, let's go. Love y'all. We gotta go.
I can be back.
Yeah, you gotta come back.
But yes.
Come on. Love y'all too. We'll be back.
I don't even remember either.
Okay.
We
all
could,
right.
yeah, we could take the next one.
Okay, great.
No worries, Chuck.
Congrats, guys.
Yeah. All right. So we'll go to Kyle Glazer next.
Charlie, you've had a bunch of starts in winner-take-all games, and you've come out with the win in each of them. What is it about the big game that you're comfortable with?
I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm comfortable. I guess after the first couple, when I actually realized that I could do it, then it became something that I started to kind of look forward to a little bit. But really, I mean, I've dealt with doubt my entire career. I've dealt with a lack of belief in myself, and so for organizations to give me the ball in big situations, that was the biggest thing for me, and the belief that an organization would have to give the ball to me, and then I don't know. I mean, I just kind of get in a little bit of a groove there, and especially today, I felt early on. I felt pretty comfortable early on, which is a struggle in those kinds of games because it's such a high energy atmosphere. There's a lot of pressure, and but I don't know. Like today, before the start, I did a lot of. I'm just sitting at the hotel room. I started thinking about guys that I really looked up to, and I still do. That came up big in big games, of veteran guys that I've been around, veteran guys that I had the privilege to watch. Coming up, I thought a lot about Roy Halladay. I thought a lot about Chris Carpenter, Adam Wainwright, and a former teammate of mine, AJ Burnett. Just guys that, that I was able to watch and admire and respect, and I guess when you get the ball in those situations, that's all you really want to do. You just want to go out there, be a pro, and help your team win. So that's basically my attitude when I get to the field. I step into my routine. I get ready for the start. And it means the world to me. I feel like the guys that are in that clubhouse, have faith in me and believe in me, and they have my back. So that was a really special one for me.
Thank you.
Take the next one from Allison Footer.
Hey, Charlie, two questions. One, is there any advantage to facing teammates that you're familiar with? I know this is not your first time facing the Astros, but is there any advantage to that? And were you surprised at all when Kevin took you out when he did?
I would say that there can be advantages because you're familiar with some personalities, and that's really something that it can have an advantage. It works both ways. But I would say that, when you're playing with guys, you don't really pay attention too much to tendencies. Like, you're not scouting your own team. You're basically rooting for your own team. And unless something's sticking out, which it would be really obvious, in the numbers and the data, I would say that the advantage would be a comfort and a familiarity with the personalities that are in the box, right? So it's like, and I'm not really sure that's an advantage. I mean, when you pitch against guys that you're friends with, you're teammates with, and I think I've mentioned this before. It's like I don't like pitching against people that I know well. Like, I played with Neil Walker for 7 years in Pittsburgh. Like, I don't like facing Neil because it's weird. Like, cut steps in the box. It's like, it's weird, I mean, so I'm not sure if there's really an advantage for me, to be honest with you.
We'll go to Tim Brown.
Charlie, you're a thoughtful guy, and the men in that other dugout so well. And you brought this up earlier. What is a reasonable way to think about that team, the season they just had, the year they just had, what for someone who's just watching baseball and has formed an opinion, what would you say to them?
I just hope that people don't assume the worst of everyone. They did a heck of a job this year. I didn't pay too much attention to what they were doing in the regular season, but to see them in that Twin Series, to see them in that A's series, and then to see them here, I mean, we have a really tough pitching staff. So to see them come back, I mean, not even just come back, the way they were swinging the bats, games 1 through 3, putting together some really tough at bats. Guys are talking in the dugout. It's like, these guys are good. You know, these guys are tough. They're pro hitters. And, you know, unfortunately for them, it came down to a Game 7 situation. It's a, you know, winner take all, and Game 7 situations can be, they can be tough. But you know, the way they swung the bats this postseason, the way they pitched this postseason, I wasn't surprised by the way that they swung the bats at all. My attitude towards them is, if you, and I think I said this months ago, if you think you're going to go into Minute Maid Park, if you think that you're going to face the Astros and you're going to, you know, and it's going to be a walk in the park, I just don't, I just never had that attitude, and our guys didn't, you know, our guys, you know, stayed aggressive and made pitches, and, you know, we came out on top. But I mean, they showed a lot. They showed a lot this postseason for me.
Thanks, Charlie. Good luck.
Thank you.
We have time for one more for Charlie. We'll go to Pedro Gomez.
Hey, Charlie. Can you try to describe what this postseason has been like? Playing in front of no fans, you know, just everything you guys have had to go through, sharing hotels, you know, top to bottom.
You know, thanks goes out to the San Diego Padres organization, all the folks that are working here at the stadium, security, the clubhouse staffs, the folks back at the hotel, everybody that's working security, working their tails off, our RSAs here. You know, just a big team effort by the league over. At Tropicana, no fans. Our guy, you know, it could have gone either way. You know, it's like, for me personally, I mean, I have 4 young kids, and, you know, the numbers, the data looks okay for younger kids. You know, my wife and I, you know, we're relatively young, but our guys took it seriously. Our guys took it very seriously. Just more of a reflection of how much guys care about each other in that clubhouse. But like you said, the postseason with no fans, it's a shame. Like, I feel bad. I feel bad that fans, you know, haven't been able to be at the parks. I feel bad that, you know, our families haven't been able to really see us unless they've been in quarantine this whole time. My mom's here. She flew out from New Jersey, you know, but I can see her from about 15 feet away. You know, I think in a lot of ways, the fanless postseason games allow you to see, it allows you to see some guys that might might perform a little bit differently. You know, guys on other teams, you got to see some young guys come up. I mean, we saw a guy in the Toronto organization come up out of A-ball. Shane McClanahan here, he's making his debut in the postseason, and I'm not sure in a normal year that these things happen. But the silver lining to this, and you might think if on a 60 game season, you get to the postseason and it's just not the same. And that's true. It's not the same, but I've looked at across the dugout at every team that we played in the postseason, and I know that the guys that we're playing, they care, they want to win. And probably more so this year than any other year, the motivation, a large chunk of the motivation is doing it for each other. You adhere to the protocols, you make sacrifices, you don't see your family. You're probably so a lot of guys probably socially distancing from their families at home, sleeping in different rooms. I mean, telling their kids that they can't hug them, and all for the guys that they go and see every day in the clubhouse. So that's what when we look across the dugout, that's what I see. I mean, I know that you get to this level, and the teams that you're playing, they're talented, they're good, but I also, this has brought out a level of humanity and empathy that we wouldn't have seen in just a regular season.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Charlie.
Thanks, guys.